Okay, we should be back. I hope I've got the audio set up correctly because I've had to reset fucking everything. Because the fucking HDMI capture card just randomly crashed. It randomly crashed. Unprovoked. I think I've solved the issue by installing this HDMI repeater along the way. But I don't know. Could be any other issue. Could be nothing. Could just be a random crash. I reinstalled it in the device manager about 5 times and then it started working again. Oh, we're online? We're online. No one's watching. Ha. Right. Let's just keep on going. Keep on enjoying ourselves. The best part of everything is if I connect this camera up to the HDMI capture card, it tends to just work magically every time. But this camera, it just randomly doesn't do anything. It just gives me a black screen. Oh, it's infuriating. It is infuriating. Very, very, very annoying. I'm gonna take another swig just to make everything a bit more bearable. Bottoms up. This is for you, HDMI capture card. Alcohol makes everything better, doesn't it? Right. Let's... Okay, for funsies, I should probably show you this. This is a cheaper webcam mounted on a tripod. Isn't that fancy? It's a completely custom made from an old security camera. That makes me happy. Unlike the HDMI capture card, which does not make me happy. My HDMI capture card makes me very sad. Someone's told me to fucking finish the bottle. I'm not going to do that. I was very, very, very close to just taking an angle grinder to the HDMI card because it... There are few things more annoying than things which just randomly do not work. I mean, you saw what I was doing? I was just sitting around minding my own business when the fucking thing just stopped working. Unprovoked. Completely unprovoked. Anyway, let's just keep on making our battery pack. And having a nice time. And of course this camera is restarted. EX980. I suggest you do not. There we go, we're back in business. Let's just poke this to my face. Since I'm being all annoyed and angry and stuff, that could be entertaining for you. Ding, 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 ding. Every time you press a button, it's ding. It drives me just as mad as it drives you. But since the UI on the Panasonic HC-VX980 is absolutely awful, I am not changing that setting. Because that would mean I'd forget to press the record button, and I would get even angrier later on, and we wouldn't want that, because that would result in a video getting not published. And since you lot are actually here watching me put together batteries, I would wager you do like it when I publish videos. If you don't like it when I publish videos, what the hell are you doing here? Someone asks, why do you have the white stash? And that is because I do not know. It's something which just randomly happened. Everybody asks it. It is not a choice. That is incredibly insensitive to ask. I am hair color impaired. You troll. I am triggered. Someone says, dip that battery pack into the Koskenkorva. It would make the current flow much more holically. I have no idea what the word holically would mean. But I'm sure it's good. I really need to get a proper brand name capture card, because nothing is worth the frustration that comes with dealing with this Chinese piece of garbage. I wouldn't mind if it just stopped working when you provoked it. That would be fine, because then I could figure out a pattern and stop provoking it. But when there's just no pattern to it, that is infuriating. Someone asks, why did you create the FF Trash Bag channel, by the way? For the odd videos? It's for really trashy videos, like blog style videos. I haven't used the trash bag as much as I've intended to. But I keep thinking, yeah, I'm gonna start using the trash bag at some stage, but I just never get around to it. Let's be pedantic. There we go, rule of thirds and all. We are being properly creative. Right. British Luduk says hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream where HDMI capture cards stop working randomly and makes me mad. Someone asks, where do you buy that Capton tape? eBay. Whatever's cheapest at the time. These packs go together like so. The format of this really doesn't matter, since it's just going to hang rather loosely on things. If you watch my videos on the what are they, Class Olsen battery packs, PIR sensor light packs, I've actually put little baskets in front of them where I can just poke a giant battery. I've bolted one of these onto the front of a light with zip ties just to enable me to use bigger battery, because I think they come with AAAs as standard, but I really think they would be very well suited to come with at least AA's, 4 AA's, preferably like two 18650s. But oh well, you make do. Someone asks, are these protected batteries? And yes, they are. You can see the little protection circuit right at the end there. Where you get unprotected cells, you usually just get the tabs out the end there. So these are protected, and we are going to add another protection circuit on top of that, so we're going to be really well protected. Like wearing two condoms. Except these condoms can actually cause issues with each other. Someone asks, what's the capacity on new batteries? And these are about 5 amp hours. I actually tested them. This one is, like they were sold as 5 amp hours. This one was tested at 4.28. And this one tested at 4.61. So, that's a roughly 4.5 amp hour pack. I did test them at 1 amp discharge though, so at a lower current, which they're probably built for, they're going to perform a bit better. In my lights, they're going to be used at about 600 milliamps or so. So they're probably going to be about 4.5 amp hours, since the lower capacity cell is the one which determines the total capacity of a battery. Benjamin Lindquist asks, where did these batteries come from? These were ordered from eBay, actually. From China, basically. Cheap as possible. I initially ordered them for the giant Canon 800D battery grip. But these were slightly... Well, actually, these fit very well. But I also ordered 4 3 amp hour cells, which fit the case much better. You know, these would obviously have been a 4.5 amp hour battery, whereas the 4 3 amp hour cells turned into a 6 amp hour battery. So they turned out better. Bit of tape there. There we go. Those turn out rather well. And in case there's someone who hasn't seen it, let's just show you the giant battery grip. Because I'm such a gear fag. Look, this is my pride and joy. Glorious. So this thing, you can see, this is for the 3 amp hour cells, and as you can see, these two 5 amp hour ones would not make too good a use of the size of a case. You could almost fit 4, but not quite. So the other ones really do a better job. Width-wise, though, these are absolutely perfect. As you can see, they're just perfectly the width of the, or rather the area of the battery grip. So that, like, if these had been slightly thinner, they would have probably been rated at like 4.8 amp hours or so. Then I could have fit 4 of these in, and it would have been absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. But alas, it was not to be. And this battery grip does work absolutely gorgeously, because I've used it for like... It takes 3 like 2-hour video shoots for this battery to get discharged enough for the charger to even charge it. It's ridiculous. I've probably got to 10 hours or so of video runtime on it. It's absolutely lovely. Let's get back to the business at hand. Someone asks, are you streaming at 720i or 720p? 720p, but we're getting 1080i from the camera, so there could be some deinterlacing crap going on. In fact, I should just disable the deinterlacing. we'll do discard. There we go. That should look good. That should look better. I'm kind of surprised that none of the Chinese manufacturers are actually making, you know, giant battery grips like that. I would imagine there's quite a market for them. Since, well, you can't buy them from the manufacturer. Canon will not sell you a battery that size. There we go. So we're getting rather close to soldering together the protection circuit. So I think I'm going to kind of stick it on the end here, and I've been using these DC plugs. I cut these off of plug packs to connect up to my lights. So I will just solder this onto the protection circuit, positive and negative terminals. Once we get that far. In fact, it's probably better if I solder this wire onto the protection circuit before we connect the batteries up, because it does heat the whole PCB up quite a bit, and I mongoed that up badly. I'll have to redo the entire strip of that. British Luduk asks if I'm planning to move to the United States, and I am not. I do not desire to live in the United States in the slightest. I am not very politically aligned with America in general. Alright, so the way these plugs work, you always have a striped wire and a non-striped wire. There you go. In 99% of the cases, the striped wire is the inward ring, and the non-striped is the negative on the outside. So let's just solder this up. I do like these little protection boards, they're very cute. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Another downside to the Panasonic HC VX980, it does not have good optics for close-ups at all. It is not very good. Everything about the bloody HC VX980 is not good. I don't like the camera. I wish I didn't buy it, really. The only good thing about it really is that you can get a clean HDMI feed out of it. Because there are no on-screen markers or anything on what you're seeing. We're getting a broadcast quality output out of it, which is not bad. That's something you cannot get out of the 800D, for instance. So I guess the 980 has its place around here. There we go. Well, that's just high-res. Let's get the soldering iron on there and put some tin down. Where is my solder? There's my solder. Ooh! Let's use quality solder. I always have like a roll of good solder and a roll of trashy solder, and I use the trashy solder for stuff that where it doesn't really matter, where I just need a lot of bloody solder, like big wires and stuff. Someone wonders if I've ever lived in the UK, and the answer is no. And that's pretty obvious if you actually listen to me a bit, or if you are from the UK. I'm really bad at like normal words in English. Like I can barely order food at McDonald's. I can perfectly describe how a computer works or how to reverse engineer a power supply, but I cannot order food or do basic everyday things. It's rather silly. I'm going to just blindly assume that P plus means positive. There we go. And negative. That is a protection circuit to DC plug adapter. Let's zoom back out. Maybe that's the wrong way. Something like that'll do. Someone asks if a trash solder has smelly flux. And no, it's standard issue flux. Someone asks if I were good at physics and mathematics in high school. Or are you just an electronics Jesus? I was not good at either of those. Because I didn't care about them. We didn't have two good teachers, sadly. So let's cut these to length. Something like that will do. Someone asks where I live and someone answered Finland, which is correct. Gyula Haidu says Finnish, then I should have vodka tonight. Yes, you should. Well, you shouldn't. Drinking is bad for you. Don't do drugs, okay? Or whatever that safe pocket teacher dude says. Oh, this is not going well. These are very poor quality Chinese wires. Oh, fuck's sake. Get stripped. Man, this is very annoying. With one of these wires where it's practically impossible to strip without cutting half the strands off. And I did cut half the strands off, but it'll have to be good enough. Very finicky indeed. There we go. That's properly stripped. These are copper-coated aluminium, by the way. They are not copper wires, making them rather annoying to work with. So let's see how we're gonna do this. So we want to have a protection circuit there, like so, which means I want to have. Let's make this the negative, so that one has to be short. Oh bloody hell! I've screwed this up a bit. I know it'll work because we need to have the point where the cells go in series, the midpoint, connected over there. So those have to be quite a bit longer on a positive and negative lead. So we've got a rather long positive lead on that battery. So we'll just make a long negative lead on the other. Something like that. Plenty of margin. And a somewhat shorter positive lead, since that'll just have to go to the edge of the circuit board there. And that'll be something like that. And now we go back to trying to strip these Hey, we haven't crashed yet. Could you imagine, we've been going for almost half an hour without a HDMI card crashing. Would you believe it? Perhaps the issue was that it was just not getting a strong enough signal from this camera, and the little HDMI repeater installed has actually fixed the issue. That would be lovely. But who am I kidding? It's just randomly going to crash anyway, because it's a piece of trash HDMI capture card. Ah. There's a water. Okay, so now we've got everything stripped. Let's do the center connection first, so that'll be the negative of this battery and the positive of the top battery. Now let's try and do it without shorting everything together. So we want to twist these together and then solder them to the board in one go. This is a bit ugly. Come on. This is awful. CCA is not good. There we go. Now we will solder that in place. Rather, we will tin the wire. Then we will reflow it in place. We'll put some solder onto all of these. Let's just grab it by the wires. That'll be good enough. Solder there, and a bit of solder there. So to recap, the connections here are this is a negative terminal, and this is a positive terminal, and this is the center terminal where the cells go in series. Someone asks, is that a protection circuit from a smaller battery? Does it have balancing? And yes, it is a circuit from a smaller battery. I have no idea if it's got balancing. You can Google the chip number if you want to. I would not imagine this has balancing. The number is 8205A. And the second number is 6G2G. And that's the number for this little 8-pin chip there, which is probably the brains of the operation. But I know that one of the batteries I got this with had unbalanced cells from the factory, and the protection circuit did not fix it, so it's probably pretty dumb. I've already balanced these cells, so it's not that big of a deal. This is just a low drain application anyway, and in case it goes unbalanced, I'll just balance it manually. This battery is not going to see a huge amount of use anyway, since we're just going to sit my little PIR lights getting, well, drained very, very, very slowly. So let's go. Let us solder this in place without burning our fingers. This is where we really get the full force of the CCA wiring. I'm worried about that little golden test point there. I'm not sure if that's connected to the battery terminal. No, it isn't. So we must make sure we're not bridging onto the test point, so we'll have to kind of come in at an angle. Like so, pretty much. Let's not short out the battery either. That would be a bad thing. That could cause damage to our cheap Chinese protection circuits that are already installed with batteries. But here we go. Soldering. That's pretty good. That is pretty good indeed. Let's just tin these wires and put them on there. And we'll pretty much be done. Flow. Flow. This is the part where it's really important not to connect the battery up backwards. Alan Slater's wife says hi. Hello, Alan Slater's wife. So the circuit board is going to go on that way. So we'll just kind of clamp that down like so. Try not to melt through everything while we solder. And this one says B-, I think. I will have to double check that. Yep, this is B- towards the battery there, so we'll put the negative lead on there. If this is wrong, there might be smoke. No smoke yet. It's in place. Final wire. Positive. Let's try and not short everything out. No, it's a bit tricky to get everything to stay put. There we go. That is how a protection circuit soldered in. So if this circuit works, we should not have any voltage coming out of this plug yet. So let's check that just to know that it's capable of turning off. Yeah, that's good enough. This should read 0. It reads 0. Excellent. Okay, so now we'll just, we've got enough Kapton tape along there for me to comfortably just tape the circuit down. And I'll just wrap this wire around like so. That'll turn out quite well. Kapton tape, really? People are talking about hot glue. No, Kapton tape. Kapton tape's where it's at. Kapton tape for the win. There's a reason the Chinese use it for everything. There we go. That's just to kind of hold it in place while I work it with a proper size Kapton tape. we go. That's properly taped down. So now I'll just put a bit of extra tape on the corner there to hold everything in place. And this will be pretty much ready to have a test charge. Let's just wrap all the way around, like so. The more Kapton tape you use, the better the battery pack is. Something's making noise. Someone asks, how would I translate Jävla to English or Finnish? I would translate it to, I don't know, pretty much fucking, in the non-sexual sense, but rather the angry sense of the word. Put a bit more Kapton tape on the corner there, just in case. That's good. Make a big mess. Oh yeah. This is beautiful engineering. Staggering quality. Couple turns of Kapton tape around the lower edge of this and it'll be good to go. There we go. Snippety snip. And that should be ready to take a charge. And in order to take a charge, we need to connect this up to a power supply. And I will need to find a DC receptacle to plug it into, and I should. I historically have had one, which I constantly keep losing. And this is my box of random things I keep using sporadically around here. And I do see a DC plug, but it has no wires on it. Yeah, I actually do know where the one with wires on it is, and it's out in the car and I'm not fetching that. So we'll just clamp onto this and try not to short circuit anything. Let's grab some leads. Now we can use this to look at the power supply. So we will set this for 8.3-ish volts. .123, and a current limit of, yeah, that should be good enough. I think it's set to like 1 amp, so we'll put it down slightly. What is our current limit? 600 milliamps. That's decent. And we will clamp that onto there. Oh boy, this is where it's going to be really hard not to short everything out. Oh wow, this is not a good thing to do. I'll just have to hold that in my fingers to stop it shorting. And if this works, it should draw a slight amount of current, I think. Hey, it is 50 milliamps. And now we should be able to measure about 8.3 volts out of this DC plug. I really am copying Big Clav, aren't I? I just need to get an emical meter to compensate. I was really completed. Here we go. 8.35 volts. Excellent. So this is a working battery pack. So now all we really need... I actually haven't built a charger for these yet. The only actual charger I've got is this cheaper LPE17 charger. This is for the Pirate batteries for the Canon 800D, and which I think I could just add a DC plug to it, because you just need a DC plug to click in to charge the battery. These are current limited. I think this gives like 300 milliamps. It says 600 there, but that's not true. So I think we're better off using the adapter. I still kind of need this to be able to take the LPE17 powered battery, because I've got a couple and I might use them at some stage, so I don't want to ruin it. But then again, I do have a long lead coming out and going to a couple of banana plugs, so I could just take... Yeah, that's what I'll do. I will take a DC plug and solder it onto a couple of banana jacks. Back in a sec, I'll have to fetch some banana jacks. Banana jacks. These are lovely. These are generic eBay banana jacks. I use these for everything, including my 4.2 volt lithium charger. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Absolutely perfect, with appropriate warning labels. So, I don't know. On this one, I could probably do the same thing, because these are basically the same device. But I kind of don't want to go inside one of these now, because it was pretty annoying to actually fit this. I'll just add them to the leads. Yeah, that'll be good. So now I'll just have to fit your DC plug back in another sec. There we go. One DC plug. These are lovely, by the way. They're like panel mount plugs from eBay. I use it for everything. You need a rather large drill if you're to mount these on an actual panel, but for our purposes that doesn't quite matter. So we'll just get rid of all this extra crap. You get a ridiculous amount of washers with these. I'm not quite sure why they do that. So, how do we do this? Well, we need to bolt these together to have them actually not fall apart. So, I'll put a couple nuts on there. In fact, we'll put a couple of washers too, since we've got a billion of them. Let's do golden washer, black washer, and golden washer. black washer. There we go. Bolt that together, and then we can just solder our output plug straight onto the legs. What are those? 8mm? Someone asks, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I have no idea what would be 8mm around here. The outer diameter of the DC plug is about 11mm. So you can't use, like, if you've just got a cheap drill that doesn't take anything bigger than 10mm, well then you're screwed. Oh god, what have I done now? You come undone. Please come undone. There we go. There we go. So we'll just have this most easily done. It isn't very easily done, actually. I kind of want to just... Now let's just grab a piece of Vero board and do it somewhat properly. Back in a sec. Let's see what we've got. Which boards are most suitable for our task? Can we just use some random used trash? Ah, this looks like perfect random used trash. We will go with that. And I will put this back where it belongs. I believe the trick to keeping orderly is always putting everything back right away. You don't leave stuff lying around. I'm probably going to want to heat up the desoldering pump for this, because this board is rather dirty. And heating that thing takes about 1 year, so we'll have to stick around. So we'll mount these like so. And we'll mount this like so. We'll just cut that like pretty much there. That will be good enough. So we'll just violently force this. Like so. Perfect cut every time. So that'll go on there like so. That'll go on there like so. Excellent. So do we actually need to clean this up any? No, not really. That's not going to short out, I don't think. So we'll just clamp this down, and how do we clamp this down? We will put the banana plug in the vise, I think. We'll have our vices. There we go. board goes in there. We will carefully calibrate the height to get it straight, because we do not want a gay mount. That would be rude. There we go. That'll work out great. Now, since this board is horrible, old and oxidized, I will add some extra flux on here just to clean it up a bit. We will use a shit ton of solder doing this. Like so. Let's use the crap solder. No point putting expensive solder on this, since we're using extra flux anyway. Always slightly out of focus. There's nothing to do about that. Bring in the heat. It's going to take a moment to heat up. There we go. It's flowing. Lots of solder. Lots and lots and lots of solder. There we go. Giant fillets. This is one of those times when I do love the OUYE 2901 soldering station. But the extra cheap ones are starting to kind of catch up, but really these integrated heater in tip models, you can see I've got a weird looking solder pen, that they just are miles ahead of the cheap ones when it comes to heating big chunks of metal. You could solder copper piping with this. In fact, I have soldered copper piping with this. There we go, that's soldered in place. Someone asks what the brand of the iron is. It's an OUYE 2901. A very, very old OUYE 2901. Which has issues since it's really worn out. I need to replace with a pen. Yeah, that is not going anywhere. I just need to solder the plug as well. Where's the plug? There's the plug. And we will put that kind of there. And we need to be very careful not to allow this to short out. This is dangerous because this metal is going to want to get very close and personal with the ends of the copper there, so I'm not sure how to quite remedy that. This metal is actually not solderable, it's some kind of steel, so you have to solder on this. So I think we'll just kind of put that there and hot glue the shit out of it to make it stay in place. That sounds like a good idea. I'll just heat up the soldering up the hot air gun. Hot air gun? Hot glue gun. This is my beloved very, very cheap 7mm hot glue gun. This thing is fantastic because it gets about twice hotter than all the others. So you can just... The glue that comes out of it is... It's got the consistency of water, basically, so it's very, very easy to use. I've got another one just like this, which is like newer, but it doesn't do the same thing. It runs as hot as a normal hot glue gun, and it's nowhere near as good. It's a shame. I'm not sure what I'm going to do when this thing finally breaks. Someone asks if it's 110 volts because it gets so hot. No, it's a 230 volt unit. It's just very old and cheap and probably has weird tolerances. You can see quite well it says zip. It says 230 volts there. 30 watts to 8 watts. It's just bad tolerances. The PTC they used clearly didn't... Like all the other ones that came from the same manufacturing line probably had more sensible temperature settings. This one just happened to be the odd one out. In a good way. We need to... I don't want to short out my battery. We need to twist this. Like so. So that... fuck it. So that we can actually get it onto the board. Something like that. That'll mount. Yeah, that'll mount quite well. Quite well indeed. There we go. I will just solder the crap out of that and then we'll hot glue it. I can already smell the hot glue, the burning hot glue pouring out of the hot glue gun. That's in place. You need to be rather quick when you solder these plugs because they kind of want to mold the plastic, so I'm gonna make a track here before I actually solder the plug. But just using a lot of solder, a giant blob. Come on, solder the plug too, please. There we go. That is soldered. A beautiful plug. Someone says, what craftsmanship! Indeed. This is pure quality. Now we'll just blob this over here. That ought to work. Now we should have continuity and no shorts. That's ground, going to ground, doesn't go to positive, and positive, gets to positive, doesn't go to ground. Excellent. This is good. Now we'll just Get the oozing goo flowing. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see how the hot glue is just way hotter than it's supposed to be. Coming out of this, it's just full of bubbles because it's close to boiling. And I love it. It's the best hot glue gun in the world. Now we're starting to drop down to a normal operating temperature when we've just gobbed so much everywhere. As is common, when the hot goop comes out, the temperature in the room drops. So that should be pretty much a completed charging adapter. Let's try and pick this up without ruining everything. I want to get some hot glue on the underside as well. There we go. Let's just put so much on there. Oh yes. Oh yes. That is excellent quality. So if we just clamp this down in something, we should be able to test it out, see if we can actually charge our pack from it. Let's turn out off the poor hot glue gun. I think it might actually be hot because the NTC is like starting to leak and it's just slowly destroying itself. But I'm going to enjoy every moment. Oh, in fact, let's put some more hot glue just on the nuts here. In case I accidentally put this across something metal. Oh, there's a pin sticking out. There's a pin sticking out, as we don't want that. Go away. Here's what just solder will melt it. Yeah, there we go. Fixed. Wouldn't be very good if there was a conductive pin sticking out the bottom of the board. Let's just cover everything. There we go. We're going for 100% coverage here. Perfect. This looks like something from an alien slasher movie. It's just been melted down. Perfect. Someone says you should smooth it out with a hot air gun. No. I don't need to do that, so I won't. Oh shit, we've missed a spot. My nuts are exposed. There we go. Okay, I'm turning this off. I can only handle so much hot glue. This is going to take about half an hour to cool down. The whole thing is almost too hot to the touch. So we will just clamp this down somehow. Oh, let's just put it back in the vise. Or try to. In fact, we will connect it up to the charger first, because it's going to be difficult to do that afterwards. The downside to this is a pretty decently built adapter. I'm just going to end up stealing this adapter for all kinds of projects now. And it's going to end up with a random box of things I use sometimes rather than stay with a charger. But that's going to inspire me to make a better charger instead, so it's not an entire loss. And it'll take a while before I figure out how to actually use this for other stuff. So I've got like probably about 1 month to use this for its intended purpose before it gets stolen. There we go. I think we're ready for a test. So we'll put the adapter on the charger. And we'll put the absolutely illegal Chinese figure 8 cord. Just look at how close those main connectors are to the edge. This is an eBay wire. I could rip this in two with my bare hands if I tried, but it's stuck with this charger for a while because I'm out of illegal cords. But we'll plug this into the wall and see if we can charge our pack. It's plugged in but switched off, so all that remains is a battery. Now, in fact, let's turn this on and make sure the polarity is right before we actually plug the battery in, because it would be rather unnecessary to explode the charger by putting the wrong polarity battery across. I would not wish to repair that for no point. It's rather crammed in here. Right, let's turn the charger on. Charger is on. Let's check our polarity. Is it right there? It is right there. This is impossible to fit in frame. And is it right here? It is. That is all good. I dare connect my battery to this. So the LED might turn red. I think it might not actually, because the battery is so charged, but we'll try. It's dim in the green. Not sure if you can see that. It kind of dimmed it a bit. Yeah. So it's kind of trying to charge, even though the battery is full. So that's excellent. We've now got a working battery with a very easy to short out DC plug on it and a charger for said battery. And since this is also the charger for my LPE17 camera batteries, I could just take a camera battery and shove it in here and shove a battery in there and charge either with whichever one's got a higher voltage. That's rather ridiculous. Rather ridiculous indeed. Someone says write something funny on it. I'm not sure. Oh, shut up, bloody soldering station. What would I put on this? The other one's the... This one's the 4.2 volt lithium safety charger. Let's make this one the unsafety charger. Unsafety. These pink pens are absolutely dreadful. The unsafety charger. 8.4 volts. Oh, there we go. That's about it, I think. We have got battery charger, and through some miracle the bloody stream has kept up for over an hour. Jesus. See, I'm gonna end the stream with that, so I'll have to thank the lot of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed all the technical difficulties, and I will see you around. Cheerio.